Welcome back to Joe Stonner Boxing. I did a video a couple of days ago about Frank Warren and about how you write him off at your peril, because this guy has been in boxing for decades, as you probably know. He's been bankrupted, he's been shot, he's been apparently hit in the face by Mike Tyson, not to the 58-year-old version. And basically, he's been through the mill and back several times. And yet there he is on Saturday, head of a promotional company in Riyadh, getting his fighters major paychecks, beating his closest rival, the man who basically had tormented him for close to a decade, 5-0 or 10-0 on points if you prefer. And he's back at the top of the tree. And also, let's not forget that the whole Riyadh Renaissance, the whole Saudi money thing, is largely the wheeling and dealing of Frank Warren, who described it initially as a game changer and was laughed at. I laughed at him. I thought he was talking about the Fury and Ngannou fight. Well, that proved to be more eventful and memorable than certainly I and many others thought it would be, for the wrong reasons for Fury. But game changer, if you look at it, if you look at the comment as referring to not just that fight, but the way in which Riyadh has now become the centre of boxing, then yeah, he was right. He was right. And at 72 years of age, Frank Warren has proven that hard work, almost obsessive work, there's no substitute for it. Like life experience, there's no substitute for it. If you are prepared to work, like a Trojan, flog yourself like a dog, to the point where, at the very least, if you look over your shoulder and see that you haven't quite achieved what you want to achieve, at least you can say, well, you know what, I learned an awful lot. I came a pretty close second. Let's go again. That constant dedication, devotion, that relentless sort of infectious confidence that comes from all things obsessive. Now that he finds himself at the top of the tree again, let's not underrate Eddie Hearn, who took that battering on Saturday in the 5 versus 5, absolute humiliation. Do you think he's going to quit? Not a chance, not a chance. I mean, this guy, Eddie Hearn, from what I gather, he's got a wife and 2 kids. When he sees them, I have no idea. Because he is just constantly in different countries. Every other day he's in a different country, constantly running around, supporting his fighters. You look at the social media stuff that gets thrown out there, the constant, endless interviews he does, podcasts. I mean, okay, Frank Smith, as with George Warren, does a lot of the heavy lifting with those companies now, yes, with Queensberry and Matchroom. But let's not underrate the absolute, as Eddie called it, relentless. He called his autobiography Relentless. And that is pretty much what he has been over the last decade or so. Absolutely non-stop hard work. He's had his ups, his downs, not as much as Frank, but then he's a lot younger than Frank. What is he, about 30 years younger than Frank or something? Well, he turned 42, something like 43, something like that. Yeah, it's close to 30 years younger. But they both share that absolute dedication, that absolute work ethic. And again, I mean, fighters, never mind wanting to be a promoter, if you want to be a fighter, I mean, you could do well, far worse, I should say, than to look at these guys, these promoters, because don't get me wrong, don't misunderstand this. This is not me saying I would trust a promoter or I think they're nice fellas, or I don't know them, I never met them, never likely to meet them. Well, actually, I did meet Frank Warren once very briefly, but that's another story. But, I don't know these guys, but as far as, illustrating and leading from the front, illustrating the importance of hard work, leading from the front, proving what that type of hard work can do is concerned, you can't knock them. Now, having talked about Frank and Eddie, how about this, for an example? Bob Arum, okay, in a 20-day period, went to, no, it was 20 days, that's right. He went to Tokyo to support Naoya Inoue. He went to Perth in Australia to support Vasily Lomachenko. He went to Riyadh to support Tyson Fury. And then he was in Leeds to support Josh Taylor in a 20-day period. Bob Arum is 92 years old. Believe he walks with a stick. You've seen him, he looks very frail, as you would expect any 92-year-old to be. Then that their timing in the 100 meters is probably going to be a little bit slacking. But to do that, and you know how long those trips are. I mean, just the one to Australia alone is 20 hours or whatever it is. It's a killer. But work ethic, I mean, just to go there to support these guys, they're his fighters. He's the head of the top rank. I got to be there. 4 countries, different sides of the world in 20 years from a 92-year-old. Okay. The only saving grace is probably that, I imagine he travelled first class. And Bob, you deserve it, mate. And there he was in Leeds after this 20-day world tour, berating the judges to support his fighter in front of the home crowd. What was a predominantly pro-Catterall crowd anyway. No, this is disgusting. These scorecards are ridiculous. And whatever you think about Bob Arum, and by the way, I don't have a particularly high opinion of him or the other two, Hearn and Warren, but not as people, not in terms of ethics. But that's hard work. I mean, that shows dedication. That shows devotion. That shows a support of your fighters. Okay, so incredible. I mean, I haven't got that energy at the age I am now. I didn't have that energy, 25 years ago. But hey, that's why Bob Arum, Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn are multimillionaires and I'm not, I suppose. So I just thought I'd do a little video about these promoters and just how hard they do work. And again, this is not necessarily a promote. I mean, obviously promoters are an intrinsic part of boxing, but I'm not aligning myself to any promoter or any promotional company. I'm just saying, if you look at what the work they do and how hard they work, they do set an example as far as work ethic is concerned to their fighters and to others, to anyone who's watching boxing. Look at all the cards that are on at the moment. Look at all these. I mean, they don't just suddenly pop out of trap doors. They have to be organised, and the matchmaking and the logistics of it is tremendous. So yeah. Let's not underrate what promoters do and how hard they work. If you've got any thoughts of your own, leave them below, and I'll have a read, obviously. Thank you for your time, as always. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new, and you can subscribe. It takes a second. That'll be a big help to us. And also, if you like this video and you could hit the like button, that'd be a help too, because they count them apparently. I don't know why. I still don't know why. Anyway, I'm looking forward to reading your comments. Enjoy your day, and bye for now.